Hey guys, how's it going? So, as you all know, I am very much into Digimon. I've featured it in a bunch of my videos before, and it got me thinking, I should do a buying guide because I have a bunch of these. So let's get into that. So I'm going to start with the very original Vpets. They came out in 1997, and I believe they had 5 different versions of them. The different versions just featured different Digimons that came on them. Right here I have version 1 English, version 1 English, and this is version 2 Japanese. The version 1 English is pretty easy to find, but anything else English is almost impossible to find. Going on sites like Japan you can easily find at a pretty reasonable price. The only text on the Japanese has light on and light off, so it's pretty easy to get those. Now, with the original, you are not able to have a Coliseum. You have to have multiples to battle them in order to raise them properly. The originals also have the best build quality, they have the best sound, and they have the most crisp screen. If you're able to find one of the originals, I highly recommend those. While still staying on to the topic of the original Vpets, I will be going with this. Now this is a WonderSwan game that is essentially the same thing as the original Vpets, except more of a game. The game has some English text to it, but it's mainly in Japanese. Actually, it's a pretty even mix. So if you go into the system, you have to go to the lab to get to your monster, and because this is time-based, they will die. You go to your shop, get an egg, and then you have your Vpet. There is an English version of this game, but it is very rare. This portion of the game works almost the same as the Vpets. It's just better graphics. And what's interesting about this is you can connect it to your Vpet. If you see that option there, you are able to fight. However, because I have a baby, I am not able to, but it works like this. You have the attachment here, and just like any other, they connect like that. Now, the reason why this is considered the original Vpet, or with the original Vpet line, is because it uses the same type of battle mechanic, coding, or whatever. It recognizes it as one of these, which is why I included it in this lineup. Moving along, we will go on to the next line of Digimon Vpets. This, I believe, came out in 1998 and was only in Japan. Someone correct me on that. However, this has English text despite it being a Japanese product. And this is the Pendulum 1.5. They're not as easy to get as the Japanese Vpet originals, but there's something that makes this one special. When you go to battle with any of these, you have to shake it. And that was the whole gimmick with these ones. What would have made these better is if they had a pedometer built in it that gave you some sort of power-ups, but they incorporated that in other iterations of Digivices. None of the Vpets have those, but the Digivices have those. Those were the original 2 Digimon lines you could get. They were very sought after, and honestly, they got very expensive. Then Bandai did something really cool. They made a 20th anniversary Vpet, and however, I don't have any of those. I do have the English ones. Now, if you want to get into Digimon Vpets, the English 21 is your best one to get. It is the one I would recommend to beginners because you can find them online for relatively cheap. There's 3 different waves of them, 2 are already out and 1 comes out in November, and they run starting at $20 each. What makes the 20th anniversary special is you can raise 2 Digimon at the same time, and also there's an in-game Coliseum. I can't fight right now because I'm just a baby. These came out more recent than the original version 20th anniversary. They feel a little cheap, but for $20, it's honestly the biggest bang for your buck. And there's different colors, so it encourages you to pull a Pokemon and catch them all. With the success of the 20th anniversary Digimon Vpets, Bandai did the next obvious thing. They created a 20th anniversary Pendulum edition, and honestly, this is one of my favorite Vpets. The reason why this one is my favorite is because it has the best build quality. Now, I said before I don't own any of the original 20th anniversary, so I can't test those, but the buttons on this are just very nice, and the screen is the best screen out of all of them. It even rivals with the original. Oddly enough, however, the Digimon is better than this as far as build quality. The sound is better on this, the buttons are better, and the screen is even better. What's nice about this is you also have the ability to raise 2 Digimon at the same time, and just like the original Pendulum, you shake these ones as well. Despite what I just said about the Pendulum 20th being my favorite, these ones despite what I said about the Pendulum 20th being my favorite, I will then go and say the DMX is the best. What makes the Digital Monster X the best, in my opinion, is the features it has. Suffering from one of the worst screens in the whole Digimon Vpet line, that's what makes it not my favorite. But the features are really what it has. When you go to battle, if you hit it perfect, it does a close-up. And that is one of the coolest features Bandai has ever done in a very long time. Another cool feature that this has is the map. The map makes this sort of like a video game in the sense that it gives you an easy-to-see challenge and progress. Whereas normal Digimon have a Coliseum, 1 through 100 Digimon, this shows you progress of areas that you go to, and when you finish one area, you move on to the next. This is one of my favorite mechanics in all of the Digimon Vpet lines. Also, the Digimon X antibodies are just cool. There is currently 3 of these, and I have 2. I skipped out on the 3rd one, and it is now way too expensive. And as far as the Digimon Vpets that I have in my possession, that's it. There are other ones that are involving in some sort of pendulum, but I can't be bothered to get those because they cost hundreds of dollars. That is why I recommend the English Digimon 20th anniversary, because despite the original ones coming out a year ago, the most I've ever seen them is $35, and that's people who want to get more than what they are worth. These are not worth anything more than $20. They even released the original ones for some reason, and do not ever pay more than $20 for any of these. There's a 3rd wave coming out, and you can still pre-order those as of this video. The next and last thing that I'm going to show you is kind of for hardcore tamers. This is what is called an ACOM. I would show you a demonstration, but because I use my phone for the ACOM and I'm using my phone for recording, I can't really do that. So I will do my best to describe how this works. The ACOM and DCOMs are a fan-made project that allows Digimon tamers to connect to each other all over the world. what you do is you plug a USB cable into this, use a proprietary software, and that allows you to take your Digimon, connect the two, and then what happens is this creates a code that you then send that code to your friend. Your friend takes that code and loads it up into this, and then does the same. So it's as if you are battling your friend despite being thousands of miles away. And again, there are a ton of different things that you can get for the Digimon Vpets. There's this, and I haven't quite figured out how this works, which is why I didn't include it in this video. There's also Digivices, but those are something completely different. Those are more of a game instead of raising a pet. The original Digimon Vpets started out as Tamagotchi, but for boys, because they can fight each other. And that's why I didn't include any of the Digivices, because they don't have the strong focus on raising. It's just battling and whatever. There's also minis and twins, and there's a ton that I didn't cover. But as far as getting into this, as someone who has no other prior experience, this, I believe, is the best way to go. Go out, go on Amazon.com, GameStop has them. If you want to go to GameStop, support them because they can use it more than Amazon, and get yourself one of these. If you don't have any, like I said before, this is the best way to go. So if I missed anything in this video, let me know. I'd love to do more Digimon videos, and I have a couple in store. And if you want to battle me as well, just let me know, and I would love to do that. Because that's what this was made for, to battle people thousands of miles away. So in the comments, let me know if you want to see any more Digimon stuff. Mainly I focus on Game Boy stuff and retro anime stuff, but Digimon is kind of in the sweet spot of retro video games and anime, despite this coming out last year. So that's all for this video. Until next time, bye!